Morning, friends. Happy Wednesday from Miss Rachel's house. I hope you're all doing well. I have a friend on my lap this morning. When I'm sitting in this chair, she likes it because it's got a fuzzy, furry cushion. So we're going to talk about some furry things when we read Humphrey. This one is titled Chapter 4. It is called A Golden Moment. Later, Gail's best friend Heidi came over. The two girls went outside to jump rope. Even in the house, I could hear them chanting, teddy bear, turn around. Teddy bear, touch the ground. Teddy bear, touch your shoe. Teddy bear, that will do. That's one thing I love listening to you guys when I'm in the kitchen making lunch and you're in the multi-purpose room jump roping. I love listening to your songs. Basically, I just like watching all of you. But I miss you all. I hope you're having a good time at home, and get ready for Chapter 4. So, Gail was giggling again, which made me feel good. Then I heard Mrs. Morgenstein go outside. Gail, maybe Heidi could help you decide how to decorate your room. The giggling stopped. Later, Mom, Gail answered. That sounds like fun, Heidi said. Paint it pink. Pink with purple curtains and the bedspread. Heidi always had very definite ideas. I don't like pink, Gail said. I like it just the way that it is. We'll talk about it later, Mrs. Morgenstein told them. Just think about a mural. Soon the girls were jumping rope again. I hopped on my wheel to start spinning. Spinning always helped me think. I could tell that Gail was unhappy about changing her room. I hated to see my friends feeling unhappy, so I decided to come up with a plan. On one paw, her mom wanted to encourage Gail to try something new, and on the other paw, Gail didn't like change. So far, neither of them wanted to give in. I don't know much about decorating a girl's room. Personally, I like to be surrounded by soft bedding, tree branches with my wheel, and my sleeping hut nearby. But I didn't think Mrs. Morgenstein was going to go for that idea. Well, I didn't see anything wrong with Gail's room. Still, I'd been happy when Mrs. Brisbane took the cage. I liked and added all kinds of fun things. Maybe Gail would be happy with some changes in her room too. As I whirled and twirled my wheel, I stared at the paint samples lying on Gail's bed. Maybe there was something Gail would like if only she'd look at them. The sounds of Heidi and Gail jumping rope drifted through the open window. Mabel, set the table just as fast as you are able. Don't forget the salt, vinegar, mustard, and hot pepper. Then they counted very fast. I heard the snap, snap, snap of the rope hitting the ground. From the sound of things, they'd been jumping for a while, so I decided to take an unsqueakably big chance and check out those paint colors myself. It was easy to swing open the door to my cage. My lock that doesn't lock has never let me down. The hard part of my job was getting from place to place. Leaping from the nightstand to the bed looked like it was too dangerous, even for me. I'm adventurous, but I like to be safe. I also needed to get the samples back to my cage as fast as possible in case somebody decided to check up on me. While I was thinking about how hard it is for a very small hamster to get around, even in a human-sized world, I noticed the electrical cord leading from the lamp on the nightstand to, well, I couldn't exactly see where, but it was probably plugged in behind the bed. I am smart enough to know not to fool around with electricity. Nibbling on that cord would be bad mistake. I figured I could gently slide down the cord and leap onto the bed at just the right moment. I took a deep breath and grabbed the cord. It was smoother than I expected, which meant the ride down was much faster than I expected. Whee! I squeaked as I slid down towards the bed and let go. Plop. Hi, Bella. I hadn't expected my slide down the cord to pull the lamp over on its side with a loud thump. Thank goodness it didn't break. I also hadn't planned to land right on top of the paint samples, but it was lucky I did. because they spread all out like a beautiful rainbow before me. I never knew there were so many colors, but where to start? I pulled out the sky blue, which was a nice color. The clouds and the sun and the trees all looked so pretty against the sky. The grass was nice and green too. Flowers looked great against the green backdrop. I wasn't too fond of the pink, and neither was Gail. Oh dear, I wasn't making much progress. Engine number 9, coming down Chicago line. If the train jumps off the track, do you want your money back? At least Gail and Heidi were still busy. I pulled out the next sample, which was golden brownish tan. Golden. I held my paw against it, and the paint was exactly the color of my golden fur. My fur was a beautiful color, and nobody said so. I pulled the sample away from the others, so it stood alone right in the middle of the bed. Just then, I heard thundering footsteps and a familiar, "Hiya, Humphrey!" Simon was coming, and there was no way to get back into the cage before he arrived. I dived under Gail's pillow and crossed my paws, hoping he wouldn't find me there. It was dark and scary and awfully stuffy under the pillow. I could hear Simon's muffled voice. "Want to ride in your hamster ball, Humphrey? Hey, Humphrey." "Oh no, Humphrey!" Simon must have noticed that I wasn't in my cage. Next, I heard the distant sound of footsteps leaving the room. Gasping for air, I crawled out from under the pillow and scurried across the bedspread. Oh joy, this was my lucky day. The lamp was still lying on its side with the shade on the bed and the base of the nightstand forming the perfect bridge. I pulled myself up on the shade and scampered across the lamp and gently dropped down on the nightstand. I made sure to close the cage door behind me before making a dive under my bedding. "He's gone, Mom! He's not in the cage!" Simon shouted as he dragged his mom into Gail's room. I could hear Gail and Heidi coming up behind them, making worried noises about me. "Calm down, everybody," Mrs. Morgenstein said. "Let's check out his cage." Just as they were approaching, I crawled out from under my bedding, trying to look a little sleepy. "See, Mom, he's gone. He's really gone," Simon exclaimed. I yawned, making sure to let out a little squeak. "There he is, honey," I heard Mrs. Morgenstein say. "He was just hiding." Simon shook his head. "No, Mom, he was gone." Mrs. Morgenstein noticed the lamp and picked it up. "I suppose Humphrey knocked over the lamp. Is that right, Simon?" Simon looked truly puzzled. "I don't know. It wasn't me." I felt a little guilty about tricking Simon, but a hamster's gotta do what a hamster's gotta do. Mrs. Morgenstein set the lamp back in place. "At least it isn't broken." She smiled and turned toward Heidi and Gail. "Let's look at those paint samples again. Then we can head straight to the paint store." Gail sighed. "Oh, Mom, how cool," said Heidi, looking toward the bed. "Look at all these great colors." "But I like blue and white," Gail said suddenly. "Oh, but I like that." I had to strain to see Gail walk to the middle of her bed and pick up one of the paint samples. "It's golden," she said. "Yep," I agreed. It just slipped out because I was thrilled to see Gail smile. "It's golden like Humphrey," she said. "It's pretty," said Heidi. "It's almost as pretty as pink." "Fabulous," Mrs. Morgenstein said. "I never would have thought of gold, but it's brilliant. We could paint a hamster mural on the wall." "Not a mural, Mom." Gail sounded very definite. Mrs. Morgenstein sighed. "How about a picture of Humphrey?" "My picture of Humphrey?" Gail asked. Gail's mom smiled and nodded. "Your picture." "Yay!" Humphrey, Simon shrieked. "Great idea," I agreed. When I squeaked, Gail giggled. It was a wonderful sound. "Let's do it," she said. I was feeling pretty proud of myself. Gail and her mom both seemed happy, and that made me feel happy too. Later that evening, after Heidi left, I rolled through the kitchen in my hamster ball while Gail and her dad made popcorn, which smelled unsqueakably delicious. The telephone rang in the next room, so I ran, and I heard Gail's mom answer it. "Mrs. Brisbane," she said, "so nice to hear from you." I rolled toward the living room to hear what Mrs. Morgenstein was saying. "Sensational," she said. "Fabulous. I love it." Then she listened some more and said, "Yes, yes, of course." She didn't say anything except, "Okay, goodbye." Once she was off the phone, I rolled back to the kitchen alongside Gail's mom. "What did Mrs. Brisbane want?" asked Gail. "It's a surprise," said Mrs. Morgenstein, "a very nice surprise." No matter how much Gail and I protested, she wouldn't say any more. As you can imagine, I was anxious to get back to room 26 on Monday morning to see what the nice surprise would be. Og, I thought, was going to be orange and purple when I came back today, but I'm glad to see that I thought I was going to be orange and golden when I came back today. I'm glad to see that I'm still golden. It's a very good color for a hamster, I told Og when I arrived back on Monday morning. "Boing," he answered, "boing, boing." "Of course, green is the best color for a frog," I quickly added. I didn't want to hurt my friend's feelings. He hopped up and down in his tank, twanging away. "Boing, boing, boing." "Hold it down over there," Mrs. Brisbane told us. "We've got to start building our boats for the contest." She turned to the class. "I hope you all spent some time thinking about what kind of boats you would like to make." My friends started talking all at once, which is not something Mrs. Brisbane likes to hear. "Silence," she said in a firm voice. "Now I need to know which students are pairing up so I can make a list. Then I'm going to give you some time to get together and plan your boat." There was a lot of hubbub, and it wasn't long before the students were sitting in pairs, jabbering away and looking at pictures. When I was sure no one was looking, I slid my notebook out from my hiding place behind my mirror. I took a look in my sleeping hut and stared at my boat drawing. Yep, the SS Golden Hamster was the boat for me. Of course, it was only a dream because I didn't have a partner, much less the materials to build a boat. Not only that, my friends kept going to the library to learn more about boats. But I wasn't invited back. I wonder if Mrs. Wright had something to do with that. Once my friends were in the library a long, long, long time. And then when they came back, they were all talking about some fellow named Long John Silver. I could picture someone named John who was very tall, but I had never seen a silver human, or a hamster for that matter. "Oh, lower your voice," AJ kept shouting out, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8, in a squeaky voice. Everyone else would giggle as if it was the funniest thing ever. I wonder if I'll ever understand humans. Silver and gold be my favorite colors, me hearties. Bright, shiny silver and gold. From Jolly Roger's Guide to Life by Icy Waters. That was the end of chapter 4. Maybe I'll get back on today and read chapter 5. It is titled, The Trip to the Treasure Island. If I forgot to introduce this little friend, this is Bella. She likes to sit and get cozy if I'm sitting still for a long time. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will see your faces soon. I so hope. Bye.